Can you really slim your face with face exercises? Or are you just stretching out your wrinkles? Now, this video isn't for everybody, but here's the truth. Most people think they're burning face fat, but what's actually happening is even better. You see, you're not just melting fat, you're lifting it. You're not shrinking your face, you're sculpting it. You're not losing volume, you're actually reviving it. Now do this right now. Try lifting your face with your fingers. You take your thumb and your index finger, and I want you to put your index finger in the mid-temple, and then your thumb is going to go in front of the ear. Just give yourself about 1.5 inches in front of the ear, and just lift back and look in the mirror. Do you like that look? And finger placement is key. You don't want the thumb too far down or right at the ear. You want to give yourself about 1 centimeter of skin at the front of the ear. And tell me, when you see that look, what do you see? What you see is that your face looks slimmer, right? It isn't a reduction of fat. I didn't lose fat by doing that. That's the power of healthy face fat. Supported, lifted, and toned. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly what to do and what to avoid if you want tighter, more youthful contours using your own muscle activation. No needles, no gimmicks. Do this right and you will, number 1, reposition facial fat pads for a lifted, defined look. Number 2, you'll also avoid the number 1 mistake that leads to sagging. Sagging is a top reason that people walk into my door. Number 3, you'll learn exercises backed by real anatomical logic, not TikTok trends. This video is your shortcut to understanding how it all works and how to make it work for, most importantly, you. Now, you've probably seen it online, the puckering, the exaggerated smiles, and people slapping their faces in front of mirrors claiming it melts fat. I'm Dr. Rajani. I inject, sculpt, and restore facial volume for a living. Now, your face has 2 types of fat pads. Deep fat, that's the supportive structure beneath the muscles. Think the under eyes, around the temples, and in the cheeks. That's where filler is injected. It's deep so that you can't see it if it draws water in to the hyaluronic acid that's in the filler. The most important deep fat pad, by the way, that we deal with in aesthetics is the deep medial cheek fat pad. Remember this fat pad in particular. It's right here on diagram because we're going to play off of that all naturally. Then there's the superficial fat. That's the fat that's closer to the skin surface, just underneath the skin. That gives your face the softness and youthful contour. When you lose your deep fat pad, you look old. When you lose superficial, you look tired. That's a general rule of thumb. This superficial fat pad is in general where I would be injecting the new class of biostimulators we always talk about, like PDRN, exosomes, PRF, Sinicos, the mesotherapy-like products. As we age or lose weight or get RF microneedling or HIFU, Ulthera, Softwave, Thermage, or what many people are taking, Ozempic and the GLP-1 agonists, all these fat pads shrink and we even lose muscle. The result? Hollow under eyes, jowls, nasolabial folds, and that tired, drawn-out look. It's called sag. It occurs naturally with aging and from UV light. So naturally people wonder, can I do face workouts to reverse that? Here's the science facts. You can't choose where your body burns fat. Spot reduction is a myth, even on the face. I'll show you 2 studies on that, but then how can we use that data to make it work for us? What are the exercises that will work? Now, when I'm talking about you can't spot reduce face fat, I'm talking about with face exercises here, not devices. Devices, of course, we can spot remove it, but keep in mind, for today, we don't want to remove the fat, we're repositioning it. Much better. So how do we know that we can't spot reduce it? Well, a 2020 review in the Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology confirmed no consistent evidence exists that facial exercises reduce local fat. And a 2022 systematic review and meta-analysis found no evidence of spot reduction. Localized exercise does not reduce fat in targeted areas, such as the arms, legs, or for us here today, the face. So no, those TikTok face exercises to lose fat exactly at the masseter, exactly in the buccal area, exactly in the underjaw, they're not going to actually remove the fat. But that doesn't mean all facial movement is pointless. You see, done correctly, certain exercises will help improve microcirculation, reduce puffiness through lymphatic drainage, and mildly tone the muscles that support facial contours. There it is, contours, what we want. In fact, a small 2018 study in JAMA Dermatology followed women aged 40 to 65 who performed facial exercises for 20 weeks. Researchers found improvement in upper cheek fullness and mid-face volume. Now, do you remember I told you the most important fat pad we deal with when we're injecting fillers in the face, the deep medial fat pad? Well, yeah, that one's in the mid-face. That's exactly what we're talking about today. Did it make people look younger? That's the question. Well, yes, listen to this. An average appearance of looking 3 years younger based on blinded assessments. That meant people who weren't privy to who did the exercises and who didn't. They were quote unquote blinded. And they looked at the pictures and they assessed the people doing the exercises. Some of what I'm going to tell you today made people look 3 years younger. I'll take that. You see, these exercises hypertrophied or grew specific muscles like the zygomaticus major, levator labii superioris, and those helped restore cheek projection. And the muscles I'll show you here, you can see in these pictures, these two muscles. Here you see the zygomaticus major, we'll target that today. And here's the levator labii superioris, let's target that. But most importantly, the data we get from people who've lost a lot of weight or are on the Ozempic type of drugs, they lose muscle. So they're losing facial muscle. We want it not just for volume, volume equals youth, we want it for lifting of the muscles. So you see how important and great this is. And the mid-face is special because the maxilla ages us because what happens to the bone? It retrudes. You get involution or a setback, if you will, of that maxilla. And that actually collapses the face and leads to what we think is sag. Let's reverse it today. And keep in mind, you actually don't want to get rid of your face fat because it has your mesenchymal stem cells and it produces the hormones in your face. Again, reposition, not get rid of. Your fat is your glow. And by the way, will Big Pharma tell you this and study this and show you the results? No, they won't. Why? There's no money to be made with face exercises. So how do you make this work for you? Here's exactly what I recommend. First, you need to target the right muscles. If you follow TikTok, you know they're going to tell you to build your masseter and they're going to tell you to blow out in a fashion that's going to build your what? Vertical lip lines. Those are areas we Botox actually to slim the face. The masseter and the orbicularis oris, the muscle around the mouth. Not what we want. And in fact, I saw a terrible exercise the other day purported to make you look younger. The person was holding the brow area and crunching down. Okay, when you hold it up and then you crunch down, great. You're not going to produce these frowns, okay, the frown lines. But guess what you're doing? You're working the depressors of your face. Maybe okay for a guy to want a low brow, but females want lifting. So what should you do in the forehead? It would be better to hold your forehead, this is your frontalis muscle, you can see in this picture here, and you hold it so it doesn't wrinkle, and you lift, and you hold for 10 seconds. That's going to work out what? The frontalis muscle without crinkling it. If you just did this all day, okay, then you're going to wrinkle it. And by the way, I haven't done Botox in my forehead it has to be 14 years now. Long time. 2010, something like that. I did Dysport. So you can see I have full movement. But what you want to do is hold your forehead like that. That way it doesn't move. And then you want to train it by lifting here. And again, you're not going to wrinkle it. Hold for 10 seconds and you do that 5 times. The opposite of what the person describing it the other day was where they're working out the depressors. Remember, men, you'll say, guys, well, they look better over time. They look better as they age. Part of the reason is men in utero, so as we're formed in the stomach of the mother, we're forming the bone. And the bone, we get more frontal bossing for the male, more low set eyes. And as a male ages, the eye and the brow comes down, it still looks good. But for a female, they have a wide open eye. It's why brow lifts is number 2, 3, or 4 in the surgical realm right now for surgical brow lifts for females at 40 and above, because as the brow comes down, they become more masculine looking, like a male. They want it up. So this exercise is good for men and women, but particularly women are going to want to do this. Work the frontalis muscle. Now, for cheek support, you want to work that zygomaticus major muscle and levator labii superioris, as seen in these diagrams. One safe exercise is to inflate your cheeks with air, press your lips together, and hold it for 10 seconds. This is going to help tone the midface without overexertion. But here's the thing you don't want to do. You don't want to purse the lips. I probably have vertical lip lines now too. I haven't looked. But if you purse the lips, that's working the muscle around the mouth. Instead, you blow out the cheeks, not purse the lips. Of course, you have a little bit of pursing the lips to hold the air in there. I want you to do it in the mirror first so that you know you're not forming vertical lip lines. You don't need to do that. It's more to blow out the cheeks. And you're going to do that exercise 5 reps, and you hold it again for about 10 seconds, just like we did on the forehead. Now, let's work the zygomaticus major. That's a key one. That helps define the cheekbones, but here, more importantly, it lifts the midface, and that does what? Keeps your fat pads in the right position. So how do we do that? You want to smile wide, a natural, genuine smile that lifts the corners of your mouth, like that. Then you're going to place your fingers just outside the corners of your mouth where your cheeks rise. Now you resist your smile. You do this by gently pressing downward with your fingers while you continue to lift your smile upward. That looks like this. So you hold it down, and that you'll feel it. That's going to pull on the You have a zygomaticus major and minor. The major, as the name implies, is the main one, but it will work both if you do this. You're going to hold that for 5 seconds, and you're going to feel that contraction in your cheek. It's important that you feel that. Now you can repeat this for 5, and you can work up to 10 times. It's important to relax for about 5 to 10 seconds in between your reps. Now here's one. You want to tone the jawline and lift the floor of the mouth. You activate your geniohyoid, your mylohyoid, and your digastric muscles right here. You can see them in this diagram. Before I show you this important exercise, it takes me time and effort and money to create these videos. So like and subscribe. I truly appreciate that. It's free for you to do, and it lets the algorithm know that you like more natural solutions for your skin and body, and I'll bring them to you. You want to place your tongue on the roof of your mouth and slowly swallow. This gently will train your submental area, and it helps define the jawline without what? Bulking up your masseter like we talked about. Remember, this is an area that I Botox on many patients to slim it, and if it gets too big, you might get TMJ, temporomandibular joint pain. If you're a tooth grinder, and I don't know what this, it's like 40 to 80% of people grind teeth. It's very high percentage. And you don't want to lose your teeth. So if this gets too big, while it can look good, in a female, as the skin gets thinner and they lose a bit of facial fat, this can look masculine on a female. So it's not ideal to build this. On some people, it might look good, but again, there's medical reasons why you might not want to, meaning, well, your teeth and your TMJ, it's a chewing, it's a muscle of mastication. So be mindful of that. It's better to work the floor of your mouth. Now, I have ones like this for the neck. Definitely let me know in the comments below. If you like these, I'll give you more for what's called the platysma muscle. Remember, with these exercises, a key step for working out that muscle is resting it for about 5, preferably 10 seconds in between your reps. It's such an important step. Without this step, it's like grandma tightening her belt without fixing her sagging stockings. Some lift, but the overall look, it still needs help. After the session, you want to use red light, gua sha, or microcurrent. These are going to enhance blood flow, stimulate superficial musculoaponeurotic system, what we call the SMAS, and you next want to support your structure from the outside in, and that is topical skincare. If you're interested in your fat, one like Volufiline cream, which is derived from a botanical root extract that can help stimulate adipocyte expansion and help in that superficial fat layer that I talked about. Of course, internally, you need the right building blocks. Hydration is non-negotiable, water and electroglow, because you can't plump skin that's dry. Use collagen supporting supplements with silica, vitamin C, and hyaluronic acid. You want to use collagen supporting supplements, especially if you think that you're getting your collagen from your grass-fed beef, because you're not. I made a video on that. So key points, of course, no repeated forehead lifting, no excessive puckering, and no resistance band chewing. If you do those, you're activating your frontalis, your orbicularis oris, and your masseter muscles. And of course, we don't want to do that. Why do something and you're going to come in and pay for me to erase that with a toxin called Botox? So facial exercises, they can't spot reduce fat. They do better. They maintain your fat and they help reposition it and tone your face to support any aesthetic treatments you want to get done after to take your results to the next level. It's a tool, not a miracle. Use them wrong and you're building asymmetry and wrinkles. Use it right and you're giving your face subtle tone, improved circulation, and better response to skincare devices. Definitely let me know if you want that exercise for the neck. One great thing for the neck that I have in my next video, which is a complete routine that I use using gua sha inexpensively to help sculpt your face, keep your skin and body beautiful, healthy, and vibrant.